Throughout history, people have made amazing accomplishments that define themselves. Now, it's our turn to tell those accomplishments, to tell his story, her story, their story, and even your story. With Mike Wexler.
Welcome to Your Story with me, Mike Wexler. My name is Mike Wexler, of course, as in the title, and I have a very special guest. She is one of the newest breakout stars in the professional wrestling scene, especially in Las Vegas, in Arizona, and of course in California. This is Gin Sevani. How are you today?
Surviving. How are you doing?
Surviving well, considering the crowd right there, and touched it a couple times, and now I'm kind of bleeding. Probably not. But yeah, pretty good. How about yourself?
Good. Just out here working hard and doing what I do best.
So first and foremost, let's talk about this. It's a very, very intimidating. Some of our production crew tried it on and surprisingly not get bleeding and blood on it. So can you talk to us about this?
Yeah, definitely. So this was actually a birthday gift that I got from my tag team partner, Bovi, and it was one of the best gifts I've ever gotten. It was gorgeous. He made it himself, and I've always talked about how I just wanted a barbed wire crown because I love violence. I love anything that has to do with barbed wire and like death matches. So he made it for me, and it's the best thing I've ever gotten.
Well, yeah, you could definitely see it. I had witnessed you the first time at Pandemonium Pro Wrestling where you defeated a kid. And you were wearing that crown. I was like, how are you wearing that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like he made it just so it fits perfectly. It was actually pretty funny how, Chris Nasty. So one day he just decided to measure my head out of nowhere, and I just thought, okay, you're just being annoying. But it was actually just to get the measurements for this.
Yeah, again, I'm sorry I have to keep focusing on this, but it's very, very scary. But regardless, I do want to talk about, by the way, shout out to the Wrestling Classic, Justin, for this question. What's your earliest memories of professional wrestling?
Earliest memories? I was very small. So my brother, Gabriel, actually got me into it. And I remember just seeing it for the first time in 2004. And it was Randy Orton. And I immediately was like, all right, I'm hooked. This is it. I was just so in awe of everything that was happening on my screen, and I was like, what kind of gymnastics and what's happening right here, and it was just beautiful to me. I thought the sport was beautiful. So one of my earliest memories is just turning on the TV with my brother and just watching it every Friday and Monday night. So that's for sure one of my earliest memories.
No, it's cool. Obviously having those earliest memories, it really brings you back to childhood, even today when you're professional wrestling.
Oh yeah, definitely. You can just, in the snap, you hear one of the old SmackDown theme songs or Raw, and it just takes you back to that era where you're just like, wow, it's like you're rewatching it for the first time again, and it's just gorgeous. Everything about this sport is just gorgeous.
Yeah, absolutely. Now let's talk about, as mentioned earlier in the podcast, you're going to a lot of territories in the professional wrestling scene. Arizona, we had mentioned before. Vegas is somewhere huge. How has traveling to these different parts of the country been for you?
It's really exciting. It's one of those things where I never in a million years would have thought that this would have been the life that I would have been living, because it's honestly a blessing. Being able to just go to different places, travel and see new sights and meet new people from Arizona or Vegas and California, and being able to just share that same passion with them, whether it's outside when you're talking to them or in the ring. It's such a humbling experience, and honestly, I wouldn't be able to ask for anything better in life.
Oh yeah, especially with professional wrestling, you get to connect with a lot of people, as we mentioned before. CSJ, Chris Nasty, of course, we cannot forget about those. Even Bobby, as you mentioned before. Having these connections is really, really something special, especially in professional wrestling.
Oh yeah, definitely. One of my best friends is Bobby. I met him through wrestling, and obviously I met Chris in wrestling as well. We all met each other at the same time, and you wouldn't have thought that it would have gotten this far. And we all would have gotten this far. And like I said, to see their growth and my growth and being able to experience this all together is just it's bittersweet. It's beautiful because I see their highs and their lows, and they see my highs and my lows. So it's really nice.
No, it's awesome. I go personally by the saying of seeing others succeed, seeing others that you've known for so long succeed and go into higher places, or even have those people that are as passionate as you. It's really gives that inspiration for you to keep going.
It definitely does, because like I see Chris pushing and Bovie pushing and Jamal, like they work so hard, and it's just like I want to work just as hard just to get there and see them like, you know, do what they're doing, and I want to be there with them too, and I want them to just achieve bigger and better, and it's just really, I can't explain like the feeling you get, like it gives you goosebumps. Like I have goosebumps right now just talking about it. Like I love it.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, especially surrounding yourself with passionate people, as we mentioned before. One of the things I was curious to is that, so, you know, you're still continuing on with your professional wrestling journey. Is there like a name out there in the indie scene, AEW or somewhere like there, that you want to like be in the ring with?
There's a lot. Let me pull out my list really quick. So definitely a lot of people. SoCal-wise, definitely Viva Van, Delilah Doom. I would like to do it again with Mighty Myra, but in a broad spectrum, I would like Masha. Definitely, see, you get put on the spot. Definitely Masha for sure. Holodead, that's one of my biggest. Jamie Senegal, I'm pronouncing her last name wrong, but Jamie for sure. And then those are the three that I can think about for sure, but one of my biggest, it would be Asuka.
Yeah, that would be a match.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's like down the road.
No, yeah, I mean, either it's deathmatch wrestling, regular wrestling. I mean, we hope to see that match.
Thank you. Me too.
So another thing I was curious about before we get into this final question is deathmatch wrestling. You know, I've spoken to many people before about deathmatch wrestling. What would you say like deathmatch wrestling means to you? Because a lot of people find it very different.
I actually really love it, and that's another thing that my brother introduced me to is deathmatch wrestling at GCW, and then since then, again, you just get hooked to it. But like, for me, it's a different type of art because not everybody's willing to do it, and not everybody likes it, but it's something that it's another passion you can share with a different set of people where it's like, okay, I really like deathmatch wrestling, and to me, again, it's art. And it's different and it's unique and it has its own set of fans and its own fan base and people who really want to do that. So it's completely different. But to me, it's being able to express myself in a different way that I wouldn't be able to do with professional wrestling in a regular match. So that's what I would think about that.
Well, no, that's awesome. Well, Jim, before I get into the final question, I do want to thank you so much for being on the podcast, getting this conversation going. We see the production crew for some reason looking at us. But regardless, I do want to go into this final question, and that is, after everything that you've done thus far and kind of the stuff that you're going to be doing in the future, is Gin Sevani proud of her story?
Yes and no. I feel like in my first year of professional wrestling, I've gone through a lot already to get to where I'm at. I just recently got out of this really long hiatus and started wrestling again. But yes, in the sense that I went through what I went through and now I'm here. But no, because I feel like I still have so much to do and a lot to get through before I can genuinely say like I'm proud of what I've done. But I'm proud for accomplishing what I've done recently, as in like getting out of that really weird place I was in that struggle, and I broke down that barrier and that wall. And I got out of a really bad environment, and then now I'm just out there and doing what I do, and it's nice. So yes and no.
No, that's awesome. I mean, as long as you're enjoying what you're doing, I mean, I think that's absolutely worth it.
It is. It definitely is. Like I said, it's a feeling like no other. Like I can't describe it. Like I just can't. Like it's just that situation where you're doing it and it just feels different, and I'm just in love with the life I live at the moment.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Gin. Where can the people find you? Where can they find you at a local wrestling event? Give them the plug. Give them the social media plug.
Recently, I'm doing a lot of things and shows in Vegas, such as Pride Style Versus. You'll potentially see me in different places in SoCal, but as of right now, my home is Versus Studio in Vegas. And you can find me on social media at Gin Sevani. All my socials are Gin Sevani, GINSEVANI, and yeah, I'll be there. That's where you'll find me.
Thank you so much, Gin. And if you want to go subscribe to the podcast, you can at Mike Wexler on YouTube, or basically anywhere you can listen to your podcast at Your Story with Mike Wexler. Thank you so much, Gin, and we'll see you guys in the next episode of Your Story